Welcome back. And back in South Africa, 14 Nigerian men charged with public disturbance have appeared before the Rustenburg Magistrates Court today. Angry locals filled the courtroom awaiting the outcome of the proceedings, while those who carried placards chanted angrily outside the court in South Africa's northwest province. Our South Africa Bureau Chief Betty Dibia reports.
The 14 accused men were in court, so were angry local residents. They were outside too and threatened our cameraman as he tried to film. But the court session didn't last very long.
We apparently appeared today and we got the content of the docket on the 17th of this very month of April, and counsel studied the content, and we made a representation to the DPP, which is the senior prosecution, just to let them know a few of the loopholes in the matter.
The allegation against them is that they gathered at this police station in front of that small gate. They were being attacked and their properties have been burned, and one of them had been murdered.
This said protest occurred in January 2018. The accused have been in custody ever since. The matter has been adjourned to the 10th of May, awaiting the outcome of the representations made by the counsel to the accused. After the court session, the team from the Nigerian High Commission visited the widow of Clement Ebukanwusu, who was allegedly attacked and set alight last weekend.
What I heard is that he went to assist the other sister by the bottle store. While he was there, then the group of people, they came. They start attacking him, beating him up until they bent him.
We have done the needful regarding this case already by sending a protest letter to the government of South Africa.
If they really love their citizens in South Africa, they have to urgently liaise with the host.
The chairman of the Nigerian Union in the Northwest Province, Chikodili Wanedu, appealed not just to the Nigerian government to intervene urgently, but also to fellow Nigerians to be mindful of their conduct in a foreign land.
I'm worried about their conduct in the way they portray themselves, because when you are in a foreign land, you have to know what the country that you are do and what they don't want to do. So you have to go according to what the laws are portraying in the country you are.
The authorities on both sides say they are not relenting in efforts to keep everyone safe. Hopefully, peace will reign sooner than later. From Rustenburg in the Northwest Province, South Africa, Betty Dibia, Channels Television News.
Protests have continued for a fifth day on the streets of the capital of Madagascar as regional leaders warn of a potential political crisis. Thousands of protesters were prompted by a new electoral law which would prevent former President Marc Ravalomanana from running for office. His supporters headed for the High Court with a petition calling for the current president, Hairy Rajaonarimampianina, to resign. Madagascar belongs to the Southern African regional body, SADC, and it is worried about a potential political crisis. A coup in 2009 led to months of unrest, which took a heavy toll on Madagascar's economy. Today, April the 25th, is World Malaria Day, and the World Health Organization is worried about the slow pace of progress made so far by some countries in their efforts to end the scourge. According to the World Health Organization, in 2016 alone, a staggering 194 million new cases of malaria was recorded in Africa, resulting in the deaths of 410,000 persons, including children. The country director, who is in Nigeria, is however calling for an urgent need to reduce the burden of the epidemic.
On the 25th day of April every year, the world commemorates World Malaria Day to recognize global efforts to control the malaria epidemic.
On malaria and its
the country director of the World Health Organization holds a preliminary news conference in Abuja where he decries the slow pace of progress made by African countries in their effort to eliminate malaria. He calls on political leaders to urgently mobilize the resources for the control of the disease.
14 countries with the world's biggest malaria problem are in the sub-Saharan Africa and account for 80% of the global burden. Many countries are not on track to achieve the targets of the Global Technical Strategy of Malaria 2016-2030. The pace of progress has slowed or stalled, with the significant gaps in the implementation of measures to prevent malaria. International and domestic funds for malaria prevention and control has stagnated.
In a similar vein, the Nigerian Defense Ministry held a malaria sensitization program for military officers and their families at the Mogadishu barracks in Abuja. The Director General, Ministry of Defense Health Implementation Program highlights some of the efforts of the ministry to control malaria.
With respect to eliminating malaria among military personnel and civilians, the MODE Waltari program has equipped 2 laboratories for training of lab scientists on malaria microscopy. In collaboration with the United States President's Malaria Initiative, 350 civilian laboratory scientists from 13 states in Nigeria have benefited from malaria microscopy training.
Although the pace of progress in the malaria elimination effort is slow, some progress has also been recorded. Between 2010 and 2016, estimated new cases of malaria dropped by 20% and death from malaria also declined by 37%. Countries in the African region also recorded the biggest rise in malaria testing from 36% in 2010 to 87% in 2016. Hence, health professionals are hopeful that with a little more push, malaria can be eliminated in the nearest future.
And that's Network Africa at this time. Many thanks for watching. I'm Millicent Walker.